Hey everyone, I am Twyla and I have ping pong here, and this is going to be a difficult video. I'm just gonna say that. I wasn't expecting to make it this soon and my heart is going crazy and I'm so nervous. But I feel like it really does need to be said because it does, I think, kind of lay the foundation for the channel. And while I'm having all of these ideas this evening, again, I did not plan on filming. This is what I wore to the dog park and the store. But I was writing all of this stuff down to make this video. And I realized I don't want to have to go through this any more than once because it's a very difficult thing for me to talk about. And I'm going to try to hold myself and speak about these things for the betterment of whoever finds this video. You know, the world's so mean that I feel like I can't even get emotional on camera because people will say that I'm just looking for sympathy. And these things are hard to talk about. So, as you've gathered from the title, this video is about autistics and abuse and why we are maybe more abused or more susceptible to abuse than other people. And you know what, I don't even want to say that to you guys because I know the autistic people watching this, you guys are so sweet. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Our brains process information differently, and we don't have the advantage that everyone else has, where they don't have a million things. They're not hyper focusing on all the details of everything all at once, whether it's what you're looking at or what you're hearing or what you're smelling or the conversation and maintaining yourself and interacting with that person. That's a lot. And if you're autistic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, are we ready to do this thing? Ooh. Yeah, so I was writing notes. I didn't get very far for the video, and I only want to go through this once. So I want to cover why I'm going to, again, I have not even mentally gone through this in my mind yet. We're gonna break it down together. Why do we suffer more abuse? Like, because I've noticed that it's not just me, guys. Like, I have been on autism apps ever since my therapist brought up to me back in January of this year that she thought that I was on the spectrum, and that's when I started undergoing all the testing. Hours and hours and hours of testing, by the way. Like, it's not a mistake. These people have PhDs. They taught me about it, so I can teach you, so listen up. Thanks. Because that was some, I'm gonna have to, yeah, that was just nonsense. Poppycock, that was poppycock. Oh, but it really was, because they said, you know, invite your family members, and I did, by the way. I did reach out to a family member or two that they could accompany me, and long story short, I showed up by myself. Pretty sure I was homeless at that point. I don't know, the whole week was honestly a blur. It was also my birthday week. It was just, where was I going? Yeah, so why we suffer more abuse? I'm like mentally gonna be grappling through this, so please just bear with me. Why are we being manipulated? Like, why is it easier for us? Why are we taken advantage of? And I'm gonna get so much hate, but here, let me do this. Hate me, not them. You know, drop all the nasty comments that you want. And this just goes to show that just because somebody maintains eye contact, in this case, you know, we can focus our eyes on one object, whether it's the camera or your eyes. It's not that hard to do, especially most of us have been in like drama, acting classes. But, you know, I'm not gonna do it because it makes me very uncomfortable and now I can't focus. So I'm gonna, you know, look wherever I want that's gonna help me focus, which is not at the camera, like how abnormal. So if I may just take a couple jabs at that question or those questions, the manipulation and like taking advantage specifically of autistic people. Like, I've heard other people speak about why narcissists are drawn to autistic people, and I think it's because, I say this with love, you guys, but I think our will is like so broken just from so many years of mistreatment. Even if you did get fortunate enough to have a family that was really supportive, I watch videos like that often. I was watching those until the wee hours of the morning last night because it makes me feel really comforted when I see other people talking about them getting diagnosed as a child and just how much support they had, and like all the encouraging things that their family would say to them. And I'm being so genuine right now. It genuinely warms my heart. I'm not thinking, oh, poor me, I don't have that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And it kind of is like infectious. And like, I love watching those videos, but I'm just saying that like, even people like that still really, really struggle if you're autistic. So just having the two is like a double whammy. So let's just all validate each other right now and just say that, hey, whether you have both or whether you have one, I'm going to include everyone, okay? If you're neurodivergent, which is so hard, the world is not set up in a way where you can function. Let's just feel that for a second. And then if you've experienced mistreatment from others, poor Ping Pong has too. That's why my ex-husband, the last one is my ex-husband, because he abused her. And so I'm getting thrown off. Oh no, is it gone? Oh no. I just need a second. I'll edit it out. Yeah, so whether you're sorry, it's not funny. Whether I literally have tears. Trust me, it's not funny. I just cope in weird ways. Or if you've just been mistreated repeatedly over and over your whole life, whether you're in this group of people or this group of people, or maybe you're in both, maybe you're like me. Let's just all validate each other for a second. Thank you. She's precious. I don't care. I'm such a germaphobe, but I will kiss this dog on the face. I will kiss her little feet. I worship this dog. She keeps me alive. Okay, so now that we've just felt that for a moment, you know, both are valid. But now, you know, if you are in both categories, why does it overlap? Just for speaking from the autistic point of view, I do feel like I can't tell when people are lying, and I can't tell. And I used to be very dishonest as a child. I felt like I didn't have a choice, but I was very dishonest when I was young. But now I can say that despite that, I really do not know when people are lying to me. So that's why I am a little bit defensive. You know, I always have to be. It's for self-preservation, especially socially, is to not get trampled all over all the time, especially after a lifetime of that happening by people who say that they love me. It's hard to believe that anybody loves me anymore, except for, you know, the people that they criticize. Like, oh, you don't love each other. You haven't known each other that long, like me and my partner now. Like, nobody said that, but I mean, I can imagine, you know, we haven't been together very long, but him and I have such a connection, and he did things for me when no one else did. Like, when I was homeless, he would send me little Adventure Time episodes because he knows that Adventure Time has been the one show that I watch all the time, over and over and over and over and over again, all through college, all through my young adult life, all through my teen years. Everyone in high school knew that I liked it. Everybody in my family would get me Adventure Time stuff. Like, it's just been my thing. And those got me through the nights of sleeping in my car because I was so just, you know, I was feeling so abandoned. I had just lost my best friend of 15 years and her whole family. And I lost kind of both sides of my family, all right when I got the autism diagnosis. And I'm still processing that, so I'm not even gonna speak on that any further in this video. We're gonna stay on track, but it's been a heck of a blow this last year. So I think it is harder for us to tell when people are lying, and that's okay. That just means that we have to protect ourselves. And I'm gonna teach you on this channel, you know, how to do that, how to be assertive and how to be just on the same level with everyone else. You're not superior and you're not inferior, but how you communicate really does convey that. So I'm gonna give little tips and tricks, so stay tuned. But the point is, we are, right? We are more susceptible to that. So I'm just gonna open up to you guys about the things that I've been through, just so we can kind of feel it together. If you feel comfortable, you can leave it in the comments, and then people can hopefully just like validate each other. YouTube's just been a fantastic space for that. I'm coming across more and more creators that are doing things like this, like ex-Jehovah Witnesses. We've got just people that suffered abuse from their parents. We have, sorry, trigger warning. We're gonna get into, I guess I should probably say that, right? Now that we're getting into things, we're probably going to get into, depending on how I'm feeling, childhood sexual abuse, and we're going to get into self-harming. We're probably gonna touch on suicide attempts, overdoses, going to jail. It's been a lot how I was treated. I won't be able to get into that in this video, of course, but I just mean all of that through the autistic lens, because I do feel like I was abused in all of those situations, in relationships especially. I had a partner go to jail after I called the cops on him. And you know what? When he found out that I called the cops on him, he got mad at me. And you know who told him? My family. So it's like I have been, and if you're watching this, that first ex-husband of mine, you know, we're cool. I'm not trying to bash you or anything. I'm just saying, like, I have endured abuse, and I know you didn't know that I was autistic. He did actually, or you, I don't know, this is weird. Hope you don't mind me bringing you up. This was not anticipated, but he thought that I was autistic when I was about 19, and we started to date because he said that he had a best friend with aspergers, and we were just very, very alike. And he, you know, told me all the ways that we were, but I was not receptive to that at the time because the world, including myself, you know, had a very distorted view. So, and then, yeah, the ex-best friend that I have, where her whole family and her just kind of abandoned me right when I got the autism diagnosis. It's almost funny, dude. I can't even make this crap up. And sorry, I'm getting a little choked up because there's people that are gonna see this video that knew us both. So I'm getting it's a little steamy in here. But yeah, I honestly lost my train of thought. I'm just gonna hop back on wherever I can. So, you know, we're abused. We covered that, right? But now sorry, it's not funny. Now I'm gonna tell you kind of just some of the things, you know, like why the most important thing that I really want us to take away from this video is, why do we feel like we deserve it? You know, it took me until I was 28 years old to grow a pair. And now I'm gonna teach you how to grow a pair. And it's funny because all the like masculine men in my life, the ones that aren't trying to prove anything, but everybody really respects them. Some of them were very high up in the military for a very long time. Everybody else around me is fighting for their approval, almost like kissing their butt. But these people, I'm sorry, but they just like naturally, you know, we just have a mutual respect. We get along. They help me out. We joke around. I think I just respect people. And it's sad that so many of us are having to teach people like, hey, this is abuse. And this is how you actually respect people, because I didn't know either. Sure as heck didn't learn it from my family. I've learned it the last few years in therapy. So I'm gonna pass that stuff on to you because I was a terrible person. I really was. I'm divorced twice for a reason, you know? And yeah, it was horrible. I gotta make sure my door's not open. It was horrible. The stuff that was said on both ends, and it was horrible for the stuff that they, you know, did to me. But I'm just saying, like, I was not blameless. I did not have any good communication skills. No one taught me. So I was a horrible person, and I had a lot of the bad habits that my family still has. Sorry. But yeah, why do we feel like we deserve it? It started really, really young. So trigger warning, we're gonna get into childhood sexual abuse, which I did tell my family about as I've been an adult. I told a couple family members, they didn't react. Whatever. So I'm just gonna validate myself. And I took the ACE score test, which I'm not gonna get into in this video, and I'm gonna warn you, if you do go look into it, it is very upsetting. So just take that with a grain of salt. I'm not even gonna say just because it upset me and it shifted my whole life when I looked into my ACE score a few years ago, but mine is very high, okay? And it's adverse childhood experiences is your ACE score. And sorry, every time I get hit with a wave of trauma, it like etches sketches my brain, like Men in Blacks me. Give me a second. On this point still, why do we feel like we deserve it? Yeah, so it started, I was super young. First that I have memory of, like actual abuse, is I think I was like 4 or 5. I was visiting, and a cousin of mine, she wanted to play doctor, and she was a bully to me, you know, my whole family knows that. And so, of course, as a 4-year-old, let that sink in. I was 4, and you guys left me alone with her. She made me play doctor with her. And then I grew up thinking that that was normal, and that's just how kids played. And I did that to multiple friends. I finally came to when I was about in 3rd grade. I realized this is wrong. And I have a lump in my throat because who knows, some of their moms might be watching. I'm being so honest right now. But I thought that was normal. Because I was autistic, I thought, oh, this is how kids play. So this is why this information is important. Autistic people are being abused in very serious ways. And I am so sick of it. So it started when I was 4. She took advantage of me. I started doing that to my friends. And then in 3rd grade, I was like, oh, no. And I immediately stopped, and I never did it again. But that has distorted my sexuality as I've gotten older, because the first exposure I had to that was with the same sex. So that's caused a lot of confusion. And yeah, that's heavy. And anyone watching that has experienced any kind of sexual abuse, whether it's childhood, whether it's full sexual abuse, mine was totally violated against my will, and I was threatened to be hurt if I didn't. That's abuse. Or if they even threaten like your reputation too. I'm just trying to validate anybody watching. Like as a 4-year-old, I didn't have much of a reputation, but yeah, so just validate yourself. And then I remember family members told me that they saw bruises on me from a very young age from my dad. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I was way too young. But he wasn't allowed to bathe me. He wasn't allowed to punish me. I don't know what was really going on. I was so young and like autistic. I was a level 2 to 3 autistic kid, just literally struggling through. But because I just held on to academics, like I really did. My mom always played, you know, she was very studious, and she just always got me flashcards and little like learning little laptops and like calculators and keyboards, and like that's what I played with when I was younger. And they didn't diagnose me, you guys. Come on, wake up. It's funny. Let's all laugh about it, but like seriously, let's please take this seriously. Like, girls are out there with autism. People with color are out there with autism. People that don't really fall into a male or female category, you know, they're autistic too. I've met a lot of them, and they're awesome. So, you know, autism is everywhere. It's in our brain, so it's not going to have a look. But it's, sorry, we're bouncing around. I had to like kind of shake that one off a little bit. But it started young, guys. And my dad told me to lie to cops when I was about 4 or 5. I remember those memories. My dad drove drunk with me multiple times as a child and an adult. And yeah. And when I was 6, this is a trigger warning for, I don't know, just a minor seeing sexual stuff. I walked in, or I didn't walk in, but I saw it through the glass. Me and my mom were going to Costco one day, and I said, let's go see Dad. I really miss him. He was on a hunting trip. And we knocked on the door, and unfortunately that window was just low enough, and I saw her running back and forth with nothing on, and it wasn't my mom. And my dad was in that house, and then I saw him. My mom went and talked to her. That she is. Rest in peace. So yeah, I saw that at 6, and then Mom and dad split. Never saw my dad after that. He bullshitted me for 15 years that he gave a shit about me until I finally went to go be with him again, because my dad, apparently after my mom died, I was like, oh, I still have a parent out there, tight. And then when I was 18, I finally went and bit, and then he didn't want anything to do with me then either. He got me stupid high and stupid drunk, and that's all we did together. And he dropped me off at a family member's house, and I slept for 2 days one time because he got me so messed up off of, and I wasn't even of age. That's abuse. He also bought me a big old bottle of vodka for Mother's Day when I was not of age, and my mother's dead. So what did he think I was gonna do? Especially because I don't have any siblings or friends. And he knew that. Everyone's known I'm weird. And now they all can't acknowledge that I'm autistic just because they can't just let me be special for a second. Screw you. Okay. So yeah, the abuse and the messed up stuff happened very, very young. And I can get it more into, like, after my mom died, my family, you know, never acknowledged me. I got into that in the last video with the eating disorders and the self-harm, but it was to such a degree that I was self-harming all the time. All the time. It's really disturbing to think about now. My worst one was in my young adult years. Trigger warning, dude, trigger warning. Not for children. I carved across my chest, and I was in such distress and had taken so many pills, I was not satisfied. And I burned into it, over it, and I carved smile across my chest, the word. And that was my first ex-husband, so like shout out to him for sticking through it with me. That was towards the end. I ended up getting arrested in the end a couple times in 1 week, actually, for like big, I didn't really do anything. I didn't really harm, you know, anyone to a serious degree. I did slap him in the face. You know, people are gonna come for me online. You know, my record's out there. And I got it all wiped off my record, but like after years of abuse with him, like 5 years of abuse, I finally fought back one night. Sorry, that was not thoughtful of me. I didn't mean to. Sorry, ping pong. I'm okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, landed it somehow with my left hand while I was intoxicated, but yeah, landed me in jail. I went off all my psych meds all at once. I was trying to advocate for myself, like, hey, I'm gonna freak out without these. They didn't listen to me. I was vomiting everywhere, going through withdrawals. They didn't even bring me anything to clean it up for 24 hours. They took all my clothes away from me. They put me in like a straight suit thing with like Velcro that didn't even fit me, and I had to walk across the jail barefoot. They abuse people in jail, whether these people have committed crimes or not. They're not treated like human beings. I'm gonna blow the whistle on that too. People in jails and prisons, I don't know about prisons, but jails, they're abused. But I'm just trying to like spread some awareness, dude. People are abused for entire lifetimes sometimes. And then it takes something like an autism diagnosis and me being united with those people who are advocating for themselves, where I'm like, oh, I have a voice? Says who? I've never been told that before. So I'm gonna use it now. Stick around, it's gonna get juicy. Yeah, really just with my family after my mom died when I was 10, they raised me and collected child support from my dad, by the way, and which I never saw a cent of. I never saw a cent when my mom died either. I just never, you know, they did buy me a car a couple years ago. It was like a $7,000 car, and they said, this is all that's left of, you know, your parents. Here you go. So I'm very thankful for my car, the little Ratmobile. But yeah, I never really, so I think that's kind of abuse too. I don't know, I just never really got any kind of financial help. I just asked them a few months ago if they would help me get through this program to like be a therapist, and they said, no, we don't have that kind of money laying around. I asked them for $500, and they have like 5-bedroom houses, dude, come on. But yeah, that's a baby cockroach. How long is it? Get out of here. It's small, it's cool. But sorry, I cannot like keep on track. They would make me do chores for punishment. So like if I didn't do whatever they said, like whatever they said about whatever, they would make me do chores. Or when they did punish me for things, like I remember I was getting made fun of in school because I had panty lines, like, you know, because we were in sports and I was in dance and I would get made fun of. And because I wasn't wearing G-strings in the 7th grade, so I did. I bought my first one, and I remember I think it was like 8th grade when I started wearing it. It was ridiculous, just to not get made fun of in this world. But then my family found said underwear, and it wasn't enough to just, you know, ridicule me in that moment and take them all. They had to like make it a family thing and like chop them up in front of me and like cut every last pair and just ha 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 ha. And it was like, it was really traumatizing. And like, yeah, they ripped me out of bed whenever I was burnt out in high school. They would rip me out of bed, drive me to the hospital, have me stabbed with needles, telling them that I was so lethargic. Like, she's lethargic, she's on drugs. And I never had a positive drug test. I already mentioned that in one of my videos because that really messed me up. I had to just pee right in front of them, couldn't close the door. All my stuff got taken out of my room. Cameras got drilled out of my phone. It's like, it's insane. It's insane. And the camera thing, it was fair because I did use the camera to take pictures of the score keys when I was in school. The teachers know about it. You know, I got busted all around. So I just couldn't keep up with the curriculum. And I was trying to say, there wasn't special ed, dude. I was in PACES. You know what those are? Those are little thin booklets where you're facing a wall, dude. You're facing a wall and you have to teach yourself. And I had level 2 autism. And I was freaking out sensory-wise. And I'm probably gonna die young, honestly, because my body is so traumatized from years of abuse everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, school, home, work. People ridicule me and make fun of me at work. I got my last boss fired, though, this last year because I'm getting sick of it. I went to HR and got her fired from her own company. I'm sick. You people make me sick. Especially with autistic people. She worked in ABA. She founded an autistic company trying to help kids with, you weren't helping them and you know it, you snake. I'm just like, that's why you need to listen to me. Like, I am bringing you guys all the tips. Like, and I'm just trying to make myself a credible source because people are probably gonna look at me and be like, you know what, my ACE score is super high. And I've been through so much trauma that even years and years and years ago, before all this crap with my ex-husbands and all that, like drugs and everything, all that trauma, being homeless, before that, my psychiatrist said that the amount of trauma that I've endured was probably gonna cut my life in half. And he said, all that is probably the equivalent of about smoking a pack a day since you were about 12. And this guy was like, he knew his stuff. And like, I really don't want people, I'm trying to connect with people. I'm not trying to get sympathy, let me be clear. But I have a pacemaker now. Or not a pacemaker. I have a heart monitor now. And it's like, this is not normal. I'm not even 30. I'm not even 30. And just tying that in real quick, why not? Why not? I was trying to pick it up from my family's house because I haven't lived anywhere for more than like a couple months my entire adult life. I've moved like 28 times in my adult life, and I'm talking pack all my stuff into boxes and move. A lot of times it's across the country. It's just whoever can deal with me for long enough to let me live there at this point. So right here, you can see me lose my train of thought in real time, but I was trying to say that I was trying to get a hold of them for 2 days, texting and calling. No one was taking it seriously. This heart monitor sat in their mailbox for 2 days because I haven't had anywhere to live long enough to put my own address, so I had to put theirs. And they knew I was in the ER last week, and no one cares. Sorry, I got super thrown off, but yeah. Smoking a pack since I was like the age of 12, or that's what the psychiatrist said anyways. He said it was the equivalent. So this is a huge issue, and a bunch of stuff has happened to me since then. So like, I'm probably not doing too hot. And so I'm really trying to get this information out there. And if you think I'm doing it for sympathy, you know, ignorance is the worst disease in my opinion, because a lot of you guys don't even know you're sick. And I think I'm just gonna wrap it up there. This is Twyla's couch, except for I'm on my dog's bed, and I need to excuse myself. That was a lot, but autistic people, you don't have to take abuse anymore, and I'm gonna teach you how to advocate for yourself. And I'm gonna make a video for, yeah, everyone. I'll see you soon.